I'm Michael Aiken, co-owner of Romabio Paints.
And I'm Leslie Aiken, the other co-owner of Romabio.
Matt Hoka, GM North America. Matt Hoka, VP of Sales.
So we're here today to talk about our experiences, what we know, how Romabio, what we've done over the years with Romabio, and we want to share just some tidbits and knowledge if we
Information.
have it.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're here today. You know, the three of us get together often, discussing, figuring out strategies. So we thought you'd just get a little bit of a insight into how we figure things out together.
Sometimes how we don't.
We started this company 15, 16 years ago, and we've learned a lot. We started this company, 15, 16 years ago, and what did we wish we knew earlier? Oh, wow, a lot of things.
How the paint industry works.
I'd say one of the things that I wish I would have known earlier, or something that hasn't really evolved, is how slow people are to change or to accept new, which can be old techniques. Like, it's so hard to teach people something to add value when it's outside of the norm. And most everything we do is outside of the norm.
Oh yeah, people don't want to change.
Yeah.
Or learn something different. They're just so used to what they're doing. And so I think, yeah, if we had known earlier, like you said, known the paint industry, it's like we thought we had a concept of what would sell well, but you don't know that until your customers are telling you what they want and need. So sure, I would have wished that we'd known earlier that, you know, what they value, but that just takes time and effort to figure out what your customers really want and need.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is that this marketplace, the paint industry itself, moves at such a slow pace. I mean, not like crazy slow, but slow enough where you try something, you do something, you're thinking, all right, let's get the result of this. And it takes time just to get the result back and then analyze what's happening. And half a year's elapsed. So it just takes time too.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely thought we would move faster.
Yeah.
I think that's a given. We would all love to move faster.
But this is not a technology company. It's paint. It's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the opposite of a technology company.
The opposite of a technology company in that way, right?
You know, but that's also a really, really good thing.
It's great. It's a great thing.
It's a good thing because what's also happened is that because that time has elapsed and allowed things to catch up, we figured out so many things in the interim. It gives us time on how to adjust and do it better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've gotten really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that with that, when you get somebody to finally take the chance and try something new, and they gravitate towards it, other people see it, that aspiration aspect of it, where they're seeing painter X grab something new and try it, and it works out, and then they're showing the results. That builds the momentum, but that momentum is not a snowball down the hill. It's slow, but then it starts to grow, and it's fun watching at that point.
Yeah.
Would you say it ever gets frustrating in the world of tech where everything's changing so fast? This is one of the industries that's a little bit, I mean, like you said, slower, not old school, but slower pace. Is that ever frustrating as a business owner?
Yes, it is. It is frustrating at first, and you want it to speed up because you want the results. You want some type of validation. You want things to work, and not everything we try works, and that's okay because you want feedback. But the beautiful thing is we've gotten accustomed to the sort of the pace of things, and they are slower. But there's also a major benefit to that, and that is you can build significant structure around that, like solid foundations, because it's not going so fast. Like in the tech world, things go really, really fast. You build the structure around it. You've got this product or these sets of products, and then all of a sudden something else just comes along quick, and now you're obsolete. That's not our situation.
Right. We're like building the layers of foundation.
Right, and they're
the
staying
years.
solid.
Yeah. Yeah. And the years of, it's so fast, like product wise, yeah, it's not a software and technology, so you can't make tweaks on the fly. Like product development took a long time.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth, and our stuff comes from Italy, and so that's great because these inventive, artistic, imaginative people are helping us design these products, and it's like, but then we got to bring it to the U.S. and then we got to figure out what this U.S. market wants. It's just all this back and forth. I mean, that was years, guys. I'm like,
oh my God.
I mean, getting the products right, and that we have a lot of products.
Because right over there is not right over here.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge for the Italians to understand our market, and for us to educate the market here on why you want that look. This is how they get it, and they're like, well, that's not how we want to do it. Okay.
And then there's the translation part.
Yeah.
And then there's, yeah.
There's the,
So
the
many
cultural
parts to get
differences
into the-
that we have to work through that everybody thinks, oh, well, that's no big deal. But the
Yeah.
reality is
Yeah,
there's cultural things that we constantly have to give and take on,
yeah,
trying to figure something out.
yeah.
And,
I mean, I'm glad we didn't focus on one product. We have lots of products, but that is
Yeah.
definitely something that in some ways we'd all look at each other and be like, wow,
Yeah.
why we're tackling so many things.
And guess what? We got so many more behind the
I
scenes that we
know.
haven't touched yet.
That's true.
I know, more to come, as you like to say. But
Mhm.
look, one of the things I wish we had known earlier in what we were doing is instead of trying to solve a problem that we thought existed,
Mm-hmm.
really went out there and said, hey, these are the real problems that exist out there, differentiation, etc., for looks, product issues, etc. I wish we'd have figured that out earlier than trying to look at a situation, go, that looks like a problem, and then go try to solve that instead. That definitely cost a lot of time delay.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because it is a problem, but it's not a problem that people are willing to change from right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think we took a long time to come to realization on, because people will say they don't want X, but then they don't buy Y. And you're like, that don't add up. And that's not happening.
Right.
But that's the reality. So you keep forcing that point until you realize
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to be the determining factor. And to your point, when you couple the wow of our transformation with the healthy benefits and the fact that painters aren't getting headaches or whatever, you couple all that together, then you not only have that value that we went out of the gate with, but you got the transformations that leads it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people still look at us and say, oh yeah, that line wash company. Yeah, but we're so much more.
Yeah.
So you get to add that added value to
It
it.
is kind of weird. Sometimes when people say that, they're like, oh yeah, the lime wash. And I go, I get frustrated. I'm like, we sell so much more than just that. But what has to happen in
It's
these
our
situations?
flagship product, and that's how people started to know us. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also
But
humility on our part
yeah,
to
it
go,
is.
hey, that's how you
That's
know us,
right.
that's how you know
That's
us,
right.
awesome.
They should know us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Do you have a strong elevator pitch?
It depends on who you're talking to. Always know your audience, right? But I feel like I describe it as a paint brand. And when you describe it as a brand, and then I go into what encompasses a brand, it's so interesting to me when you explain, okay, we're a paint brand. We sell, these authentic Italian mineral paints and lime washes and that beautiful, slate lime brick look. That's probably our product. Oh, it is? And then people often who are not connected with the painting industry think that we're like the painters, like we're a painting company.
Right.
I'm like, no. We're the brand. That's why I like to say brand. Like we're the product. We're the people trying to figure out when you go to Home Depot and Lowe's
Right.
or you go to when you go to your local store, which product you're gonna pick.
Mhm.
That's us. We got it to you on the shelf.
I just tell them we sell specialty paints and coatings because I don't want to talk to them about it. So there's my pitch.
Matt has the elevator pitch because he's our sales guy.
Right.
I'm kidding, Matt.
You partially are.
Sometimes I'm actually, yeah, you're right. Actually, people ask me, it's like, so what is it that you do?
Well, I think Leslie's point about our elevator pitch of who we are, it goes to the audience, because you could be talking to, we did recent classes with designers, and then you got architects, you got painters, you got business owners, paint stores, you got resellers. So it pivots and changes, and in this industry, you've got to be a bit of a chameleon to be able to go into any situation and curtail your elevator pitch to that specific situation. Overall, we sell Italian products, and we can make anything look how you want to make it look. That's what I tell people, because I think that's true. And then I get into the healthy benefits, the zero VOC, no chemicals, from the earth. When I was in a big class when the Olympics were going on, and I was like, you see those guys skiing down the mountain? That's where your slaked lime comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody they were like, really? Yeah. So those skiers is actually a good thing for us. We're going to get more lime in the riverbeds, and we're going to make more product. And they were like, that's amazing. Yeah, that's what we do, right? We didn't have to create that out of raw materials and chemicals. It's a natural process. The Olympics just helped it out a little bit.
I like to tell people we sell joy through transformations and we sell joy through pros making more money, because that's really what we care about.
That is true.
That is the value. I've always believed that if we do something that is of value for the pro, for the homeowner, for the commercial specifier or designer, and everybody in that grouping gets something out of it, and then we get a return, and then greater awareness, then it works.
Mm-hmm.
When one of these pieces stops working, that's when I think it, we have issues. right? Because the world is changing from a place that you're just selling something and you're focused on the profit and making sure that you're screaming about what you're selling. And if somebody really doesn't like it, it doesn't matter. It's just, we got to get it sold. That sort of the ABCs from the movie Glenn Ross, where he says, always be closing.
Yep.
It's changing. Always be providing value.
Right.
And I honestly believe that is exactly what we do, and we do it really, really well. And we talk about it.
Yeah.
So if pros aren't getting value from what we train them with, and homeowners aren't getting that burst of joy repeatedly from experiencing what that pro has done with our products, then it's not really going to work in the long run. But that's the foundation that we're building.
Yeah.
So
What decision or moment early on had the biggest impact on where the company is today?
I was going to say the biggest.
I think, yeah.
The biggest decision was really, we were trying to get into the clean interior paint space. We knew that we realized it was going to be, it was very challenging, and we shifted quickly to something that had the appeal of heavy differentiation and transformation with the distressing of classical lime wash on exterior brick surfaces, and then the knock-on effect was the application of masonry flat and all the problems that solved. And then
Yes, that was the
It's
pivotal
simple.
decision of where we stand today. And I remember he had been doing it for 4 or 5 years, and then I came on, and it was early on. It was a couple of years, even while I was here. And then the clean interior, we were like, it's just not working. And I remember sitting in that conference room or something, and you and I were brainstorming, and we were like, let's look at the numbers. And we were like, this classical lime wash product that we weren't really focusing on, like at all. We were not. And we were like, wait, every month it's increasing and increasing and increasing. And then we were like talking to pros, and they're like, it's freaking awesome. This product is awesome. I mean, seriously. And then you and I were like, we were like, why are we trying to put the square peg in the round hole? Why are we not going after the thing that is just naturally happening? And we switched from interior clean paint to the classical lime wash, but we were sitting there, and I knew we were looking at the sales, and they just were increasing without us doing anything. And so I was like, we've got to focus on this. And you and I just made that decision.
So classical lime wash was an unexpected light bulb moment, kind of.
It was completely unexpected light bulb but it was what our customers wanted. And we were solving the problem that we didn't know that we were solving, of creating this unique, beautiful effect on their home, because everybody wants things that are unique and natural and beautiful
and different.
And classical lime wash was doing that, but it had all the parts of it, meaning the pro loved it. The pros were the ones that were telling us how awesome the product was and how easy it was to use. And then
because they can make more money.
And then they could make more money, and then the homeowners were loving it. So both sides were just loving it, and we were like, we need to focus on this. And then, distribution is a challenge in the paint industry. Like, it's a huge challenge. And back to one thing I think I wish I had known was how challenging maybe distribution was. So we had to solve as we were growing, we had to solve our distribution problem. And so to me, classical lime wash was, even though it is the most, can be one of the best products for pros, for artistic applications, it's also very DIY friendly. And so it has this combination. And then from a color standpoint, there's only like main whites and neutrals that you would actually use in classical lime wash. So tinting and coloring was easier. And so we were like, this is a pre-tinted product that can go on shelf in big box situations and other situations pretty easily. So we don't have to solve the color tint, all these other distribution things that we'd have to solve. And that's why we went after it too. We were like, let's get in big box, let's get distribution.
And it helped drive awareness.
Right, drove awareness for the brand, because you'll have to say your side when you came in. I mean, our customer rating on Home Depot was like instantly 4.8.
Yeah.
And so it instantly validated all the things that we were seeing, and then gave us awareness and trust.
Well, I think the cool thing, it transitioned because it gave knowledge to the industry that there was something other than a film forming product for substrates. And so where we picked up and ran with was, you had people who wanted that look, but they wanted it solid. And the classical lime wash is going to distress over time. So we had the potassium silicate product, and so creating those two very differentiating products, one being solid and 20-year warranty, one being able to be distressed. Then it was a game of knowledge on this product is going to last, this product is going to wear and distress over time. So it's then educating on that part to the painters in the stores, which those are our two anchor products
Mhm.
now for the exterior. So seeing that and then reacting to that pushed us into that complete exterior transformation to full circle.
So to really answer the question fully, then started with Classico, realizing that there's all this popularity around it. Let's pivot to it. Then we realized that we have all kinds of things that we can go after that we went after at that point. And then it was was sort of a natural flow from there. Then it became really about transformations.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah,
Right?
that was definitely the pivotal moment, switching from focusing on one set of products to focusing on classical English.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a common entrepreneurial thing. You start a company, you start a concept, and you're like, I think I'm gonna do this, and then, but if you're not getting customer feedback, the marketplace feedback, most likely you shift and do something different than what you originally. But I mean, we had great intentions. We wanted, we were like,
I think it's
really clean, healthy paints makes the most sense. Everybody should have one.
I think 70% of the time or more, the entrepreneurial thing is you start with an idea thinking that that's going to be the successful thing that you're going after, and then all of a sudden it completely changes.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening in these situations is those that are successful are the ones that decide with humility that I'm not right, we are wrong, let's change and figure it out.
Right.
And that's what we did. And so, one of the questions people ask me a lot is, y'all accomplished this, can you give me some advice on what maybe I could do differently in my business? And I think the first thing that comes to my mind every single time is be humble about what you do not know. Because what you do not know is actually what you're going to figure out. And once you start to figure it out, don't go, oh, I'm an expert now at this. Continue to be in the stage of the area or the world of discovery, because that allows you to figure more things out and to grow from that. That's my opinion.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that leads to the next one. What's the dumbest idea you've had that you were convinced would work?
Oh, I have a good dumb idea we had. And this is, I had been doing marketing I'm a marketer. And I came in, and I think this kind of relates to the whole, what you didn't know that you didn't know, And I'd always worked for bigger brands, really. For Romabio, I had some small business experience, but mainly the big brands with, $40 million budgets, right? And then to come in and grow a company with no budget, it's night and day. So, but remember when we got offered the TV show?
Yeah.
That was the dumbest idea. It wasn't about the TV show, it was our execution of it. We thought, so we got offered to be a product promotion in the show, and I can't even remember, this is 10, 15 years, this is 15 years ago or something, 12 years ago.
Something like that.
It's a long time ago. So really even before the popularity of, what's the
Makeover
sorry,
series.
thank you. Before the popularity of all the HGTV shows, this might have been a mainstream show that was, so we thought, oh, of course, this is on main media, this will be awesome, we'll get so many calls and sales, it'll be great, and because we were so small and we didn't have distribution, we had to do everything ourselves, which just meant we had to tint everything, we had to get product everything, and then dealing with the show, their schedules are crazy.
Yeah.
So they would literally call us 12 hours before, meaning 5 p.m. and be like, by 5 a.m. next morning, we need pallets and pallets of this product in this color, and we'd be like, what? And so we'd have to the amount of work involved was so insane, and there was a
And then
fee.
what was the result?
Nothing. Nothing.
It didn't do shit.
It did not do shit. And I was like, I am the dumbest marketer alive.
No,
but this is
that's
why.
not true.
Why did it not do shit?
Because there was no full campaign around
Right.
it. There was
We
no drip involved. There was no campaign associated.
Didn't have enough touches in
and
the
we didn't have anything in
marketplace.
distribution.
And we
at that
didn't have
time,
distribution.
so nobody could buy it easily.
We had not solved the distribution problem. You can't just do one thing and then think it'll work. It's, you gotta have that whole multi-touches before a customer trusts you, right?
Right.
But yeah, distribution is big. That was my dumbest. I'd love to actually hear Matt's.
Sometimes I overuse the word value, but
It's true, though.
but it is true
Yeah.
because I do see the world changing substantially, and it's changed over the past year and a half to 2 years. Where, if you truly are not providing value in every situation, then it becomes a problem. The one thing that I see with pros, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Matt, but when they have a tendency to run in, do something, and run out, and not focus on or have a process around how do I show the homeowner what I've done and how well I've done it, right? Just little things, just capturing video and photos of just in general what they've accomplished and then giving it back to the homeowner. When they don't do those things, they run in and run out on a project. If some little thing is off, what ends up happening in the homeowner's head is that, wow, this is off. Well, what else could be wrong here? You know, and then it's sort of the creep effect that starts to get into the situation. But if they literally go into the situation saying, here's my process, here's the value that I want to provide you, does this work for you? And then they get going, they get it done, and then they back up afterward, or they pause afterwards, and then they put together some information around what they've done, and then that's what creates the, hey, use this painter, he just did, and look what they did, and here's the reference, and look at this video showing how well they did this over here and over there. You know, I think it's useful.
I think that's one thing that our brand has been able to do is shed light on that situation. And in this industry, talking about slow to change, how many painters still to this day don't have Facebook or Instagram or Google reviews and urge people to do that? We've got some franchise painters who will stake their life on that, but then we've got, you know, a really good guy who is painting just to provide for his family who don't understand that. And I think that's where we come in and add value, and we try to help them understand. So you want to learn about these products, that's great, but how are people going to know to find you? And if we send you a lead, that's wonderful, but how is homeowner X going to be able to take that and believe you're going to provide that value?
Or on top of it, you get in front of the homeowner and you don't have any social media or any digital images that you can quickly pull up and say, let me show you what I've done. You know, how about something like this, right? Then it becomes, you lose a sale even though you've gone and spent the time getting there, just because you don't even have what you can show as a portfolio of what you've done.
And when you look at some of our strongest pros in the marketplace, there's probably at least a dozen I can think of that their business relies solely on the transformation, and they bought into it quickly, and they understood there's value in showing what we do, and so they'll be booked out 6 months in advance. And it's not to say they're a better painter, but they're providing a better experience overall, and that does translate to trust.
Yeah, totally.
I want to go back to what you think, what was the biggest mistake? The question, what was the biggest mistake question?
What's the dumbest idea you've had that you were convinced would work?
Sorry, biggest mistake, sorry, dumbest idea.
Of course, the
That you
dumbest
had.
idea that I have.
Dumbest idea you had.
Do you have one for me?
I know of all the dumb ideas that you had that didn't work. I'm kidding.
I think probably the biggest one that just glares is I don't think it's the dumb idea, it's the thought that classes would generate a lot more revenue than they did.
Yeah.
So when we go in and we show people and they're super excited, but then they don't do anything with it, you know, and you're like, well, that's not really the whole purpose of this. Like, and you're getting all the indicators, but I think sometimes you get to, they're so busy they just don't implement new things as far as the pro's concerned.
How hard that process really is for them to implement, and how much we've had to help them
Hold their
along
hand,
the
yeah.
way.
What do you think is the biggest
Yeah.
issue behind pros taking the next step to truly get somewhere with a product that they may be a little bit uncomfortable with? What do you think that issue is?
You know, when Joe and I are talking to the pros, we always tell them, you've got a room in your house that your husband or your wife would let you get creative in. So we encourage them to do that. And a lot of times we'll provide them products, say, hey, just go get creative, and then film that process, put it on your social media, and you'll have people going, oh, that looks cool. And then we'll say, you know, give a percentage off for your first X amount of people so you can get creative in their home. But it's people who are willing to take that next step. And I hear painters all the time saying, I'm tired of competing over $2 a square foot. You don't have to, you're choosing to, because you're not taking that next step. And we try to make it really easy for them to take the next step, but you can't make them do it either. So it's just making the time to add a new arsenal to your business that can generate revenue.
I would bring it back to being entrepreneurs. Like, you have to constantly push yourself as a business owner on things that you're not good at, or you're afraid to do, or you don't know how to do it. I mean, that's your point about figuring. I say, you know, everything's figure outable. Like, you don't know. There's gonna be so many things, but you have to just be confident that you can figure it out along the way and take the step anyways.
And you get like a lot of the franchise painters get stuck in that, but they all have a paint crew that they've got that one or two man or woman team that they know they can do it. Then it's just a matter of helping them get comfortable with it.
So this brings me to something that I've been saying that y'all are sick of me saying, and I'm gonna say it anyway, and that is it's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
The pros that become the best and most successful are the ones, in my opinion, who decide, I'm going to figure this out, and it doesn't necessarily have to be me. It can be other pros that help me get there, right? So when you start pushing that technique, or getting that technique from other pros, or even paying a pro to come in to help you learn it, right? And you're spreading the knowledge of how to do it and the practice and spreading it around, right? It actually benefits everyone.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, how that works is that all these pros end up spreading out on the field.
Yes. I mean, I think the thing is, as like pros shouldn't be nervous that, oh, once I figure this out, there's only a limited number of jobs. That's actually not true. Like, we're scratching the surface in the number of ways.
Because job numbers
Like,
grow.
Yeah, right. Because people, like with classical line wash, people didn't 15 years ago know what a line wash brick distress, didn't know to ask for it.
No idea.
And then I would still think our awareness really is not like that high. There's
Yeah.
so much, that it could still go up. And so the point is, don't be afraid that if there's a limited pie slice.
Yeah.
It's like as all the pros and all of us in the marketplace increase the awareness, it increases demand. It just keeps going and going, and it's unlimited.
And it's funny because that's how you know you really have something people want. I think when we first started out trying to grow retailers, when we had opened up a retailer, they'd say, "So you're not going to open this to anybody else, right?
Right.
It's just me." And painters, you're not going to trade anybody else, right? It's just me. Well, the good ones, they don't really care about the competition because they know competition breeds success.
Yeah.
In anything, it doesn't matter what you're doing. But that's a funny thing that we always get everywhere we go is, well, don't train X, Y, Z. Make sure I keep on this.
Yeah.
And if you just go about your business and you do your job and you blow it up, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild. One of the best pros that we have out there, he's at the very top end, like Jeremiah with Artistic Finishes. That guy's out there training people left and right. Now, I mean, I know he's got classes for liquid metal and things like that, but he's always been open to learning from others or teaching others.
Yeah.
And what that's done for him is help him move up, move up, move up, move up. And when I say move up, I'm saying move up the dollar ladder, right? His jobs have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And
You look at 15 years ago, he was in classical line wash and masonry paint. And then he's like, well, let's do plaster. And then you look where he's at now, he's doing jobs that are 100 plus a square foot in liquid metal. So, and it's cool to be a part of that and supply him those products. That's,
So then collectively, what do we truly want for every pro out there?
add value.
Value.
Right. Right. And make more money.
Make more money.
Level up.
Live a better life.
Level up.
Level up. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Because if it doesn't happen, and this is something that I actually have said to pros before, if things are really going poorly for you with our products, I do not want you buying our products. Stop. It's okay. We're not here to just make sales.
Right.
The intention is to provide value for you, the homeowner, or the commercial project specifier. At the end of the day, that's what we care about. If that's not happening, stop. Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the systems we've created, the toolkits, things like that, so say a pro's listening to this and is like, okay, I'm inspired, I want to learn more. Maybe Matt, what do they do next? What's your advice?
So thinking about the systems we've created and how it took us to get there. I remember when we first were out trying to sell pros and get pros interested. You don't know what you don't know. So we're going in there and we're like, hey, just try this. And it took a lot of years to get us to the point of where we are as far as a resource kit and a toolkit and all the things in one place. I mean, from everything from printing something off and getting it to them that way to, now we've got this business profile and we're talking to the pro, and that helps us learn who the pro is and what they're doing in the market so we can talk to them. That first phone call is educational. It's not a questionnaire phone call. That's where we were in the past is, we need to understand your business. Now it's, all right, we got you. We know who you are. Let us help you get to where you want to go. So that's a big piece of it.
Yeah.
And then providing the assets, the resources, the right products that they need, all those things make it much quicker to do business with somebody. Where it could be 6 months for them to really understand and figure out where to get. That was a big piece of it, the distribution part of it. Now it's a matter of just educating on who we are, what we do, starting with product X and then go all the way through Z.
So then, why is the business profile so important? That's, I think, the big question, because what we find is that pros are hesitant to fill it out. Even after watching your video, sometimes they still won't fill it out. The reason why it's important is that it makes everyone getting to what the pro needs much more efficient, right? Otherwise, we spend a ton of time trying to figure out where they are in their game, in their abilities, etc. So if we can get all the pros to fill out the business profile, it allows us to get the right person in touch with them when they need to get in touch with them. That's the key.
Well, and I'll tell you, it goes back to, mistakes you make and lessons you learn. When we first started really attacking the pro, we did a big campaign to just blanket everything because we didn't know, right? And then we got all these requests that came in, and what we realized quickly was, as we were touching all of them, only probably 20% of them are really needing to be involved with Romabio.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the house painter who just wants to paint all the walls, but that's not where we were. So that's where the business profile was born, is so we could connect the right pro with Romabio, so we're not wasting each other's time. We're busy and so are they. So if we could make that an efficient process,
Right.
and that's what it is. I think a lot of pros, just like everybody else, they're afraid they're going to get scammed. Like, what are you going to email? What are you going to send?
What's going to happen now?
And that's none of that process. You are going to talk to a person, one of probably 10 people, and we're going to get you into these products, and we're going to get you some samples, and we're going to walk you down this road.
But wouldn't it make sense to get to the right person first?
Yeah, which is why we did the profile.
Right.
And it cut the leads that we got into the direct leads that we needed and what the pro really wanted to. It weeded out the pros that did not need Romabio, and it connected us with the right people.
Yeah.
For the pros out there, what we want to do is exactly what Leslie said: be transparent, pull the curtain back. We want to help you understand what it took for us to get to the point where we are, and try to create some bridges to get you there quicker.
This is the first part of a longer series where we are going to pull back the curtain on the paint industry. One of our core values is transparency, so we're going to be transparent with you on what we've done and what we think, and we hope you follow along. We got lots more stories.
More to come.
Stay tuned.